Hello all, you're listening to TDGB 92 Language Squares. Thanks for dropping by. In a few minutes, I'll tell you what a language square is, but right now, let me tell you that these bookboards that I'm using are recycled, used files that I cut in half. The main, not problem, but the main concern is whether they are flat or not. Sometimes they can be quite warped. The book cloth and the end papers, however, are brand new. I am running low on thread though, and I'll probably have to buy some in the near future. Now, getting back to the language squares, if you are going to learn a foreign language and want to do it fairly efficiently, there's a few things that you should do. You should learn what you need. For example, if you are involved in bookbinding, you might look up how to say bookbinding in the target language. After you learn how to say the word in the target language, you need to practice saying it. Not only saying it, but you should be able to read it and write it. What I'm going to tell you now is something you should do is you hear the target language, you say the target language, you repeat what you hear, and then you write it down. And then you practice saying it and writing it, and then you practice reading it. When it comes to speaking a foreign language, your muscles in your mouth have to do something differently than they do in your native language. If you write it with your hand and not with your computer, you'll remember that word longer. I don't know why, perhaps because the muscles in your hand and your brain are connected in some way. You should hear it, you should repeat it, you should write it, and then you can read it and repeat it again. You should connect what you have learned to real life. You should use it with somebody who speaks that language, or, and this is quite problematic, use an app that corrects your speaking. So to quickly review, you should learn what you need and then practice what you learn. By practicing, you should say the word, repeat it, say in a sentence, and learn to write it and learn to read it. Why am I telling you this? Well, when we get to the end of this video, I'll explain it in relation to the notebook that I am making right before your very eyes. Not too long ago, I said that I had a lot of scrap paper left over and I wanted to use it. Now, the book cloth for this particular notebook is new, but I already have some scraps, which is why the front and the back of this notebook are different colored book cloth. The front is predominantly red and the back is predominantly gray. But in order to use more gray, I put some gray and some red on the front. When I show you the front cover, you'll see what I'm talking about. When it comes to sewing and showing you how to sew online, it's difficult for me to do that because I'm incompetent in many ways, but also I keep moving the book around so I can readjust or move the needle in and out of the proper stations. I apologize for this, but I am making a coptic binding and sometimes all you see is my hand and sometimes what I'm doing is off screen. Hopefully, a lot of the sewing you can see, or at least guess what I'm doing. I hope sometime in the future I will be able to show a proper coptic binding style in a video. But I wanted to show you this speeded up version so that you get a basic idea of what I'm trying to do. Basically, coptic binding is attaching the covers to the signatures, and you do this by starting the first signature, coming out the first station, and then wrapping the thread around the bookboard, around the cover, and then go back into the first station, and then move from the first station to the second station and repeat. And when you come out the second signature, you go around the first signature like a link stitch and then go back into the same station and go on to the next station. One of the benefits of Coptic binding is the book opens very wide, and in this particular notebook I want it to be very wide because I'm going to write in it and I want to use up all the space in each page. If you are attempting to learn a foreign language, and I suggested that you should write the words down, here is a hint that I got many years ago. Write your native language first, and then the target language. That way your brain is going, oh, here's a word I recognize, and then you get the next word, and that's a word you don't recognize, but eventually your brain will go, oh, I know what that word means. Especially if you speak the target language, you see the native language and then you say the target language. If you do that enough times in enough situations, you'll probably learn that word. After you write it down in your native language, then you write it down in the target language. And you practice writing the target language so that your hand muscles understand what you're doing. Your hand muscles, and when you speak, your mouth muscles will learn the language that you're trying to learn. Your muscles will learn it probably quicker than your brain. The muscles are assisting the brain to get the words around. Here is the language square notebook. The first square is the native language, the second square is the target language, the third square is a sentence using that word that you're trying to learn, and the fourth square is for anything else you want to add, such as the date, the time, the place, the book, or the person that you heard the language from. In any case, thanks for dropping by. Hope to see you again soon. Please subscribe and take care of yourself and others.